Hi Stampers, this is Karen Phillip, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today we'll be making this cool card called Faux Wood Burning. And it actually does look like it's wood burned, and people have touched it to see if it really has that indentation. So let's get started. The first thing we will need is our watercolor paper that is cut 3 3/4 by 5. I'm using my Stamparatus, and I already have these mounted on my Stamparatus, and this is using the Peaceful Boughs stamp set. I am placing it on, and I'm using the Stamparatus because you need to stamp it a couple times to get a nice dark image. So we'll ink it up, and this is using Early Espresso ink. A juicy pad works better because we are using the watercolor paper. Just kind of push it down, and I'm not killing it to push it down. I'm giving it pressure, but not that much. And even if I pressed it on more, it wouldn't make the image any darker. So that's why we need to do this a couple times, and why it works best on the Stamparatus. So 2 to 3 times is probably good. And I'll do it one more time. There we go. There, that's good. And even those are a couple little spots that went into the grooves of the watercolor paper, this is still going to work. I'll just close that up for now. Close up my ink pad. Okay. The next step is putting this through the embossing folder Pinewood Planks. And you're not going to be able to see it, but it's called Pinewood Planks. This particular one is from last year, so it says Sizzix on it. The new ones this year do not say Sizzix, so I'm going to show you or give you a little tip here when you emboss. The first thing, I want the bumps to go down. So these are going up here, so I'm doing it upside down, or backwards I mean. So these are the ridges on this side, so these I want to go down, so I'm putting it in like this. And I want the planks to go sideways, so that's why I'm doing it. I put it in the folder, and this is the part for the sandwich part of it. This is my cut and emboss machine. We are using the number 1 plate, the base plate, and then we will be using our embossing folder. This is the 3D type, and again this says Sizzix on it, so I'm using a clear plate, and that's your way to know which plate you should use. And I'm using the number 3 plate, so there's no plate on the bottom on this platform, and we'll run it through. And if it does not say Sizzix on it, then you will use the number 4 plate, the specialty plate, and that's looks like this, or the blue plate that was previously sold. So that's just a little tip that I have for you to know which plate to use on the top of these 3D folders. Okay. Okay. So now we have our image that is embossed with the wood grain. There we go, now you can see. You could do it when it's wet. I like to do it when it's dry. It doesn't matter. You can do it either way, and you could just do it not at all. So I'm using our water painters on the wide brush, and I'm going to give it a little squeeze and get some extra water out. Just put a couple drops on. Okay, and then we're simply going to take it and go in one direction, and it picks up the ink from the stamp, and you just slide it across, and that's how you get this cool look. Now if you want the wood grain in the back a little darker, you can take the stamp pad and or you could just take a block and stamp the block and then use that ink. But I'm just taking it right off the top and just darkening it just a little bit till you get the desired look. It's sort of like paint, it will dry lighter than what it is when it's wet. And I like to put the images just slightly darker, and it gives it a little bit more impact and look of the wood burning that we're going for. Any image will work, but this one seemed perfect for the season. There we go. That's the look that I'm looking for. And now we just assemble the card. This is wet, so I will wait to assemble it, but we're using Mary Merlot early espresso, gluing these together, and I will use the Tombow glue, the green Tombow glue, to assemble it because it will keep this nice and flat. And that's basically this card. It's so simple to make and yet such a cool look. Thanks for watching and have a great day.